Put up your dukes, it's time to battle! I'm Old Gamer Joe, and today we're talking about some of the baddest fighting games in the indie space. And by bad, I mean really good, really awesome, goodest, whatever. It's a figure of speech, you get it. But before we get into the nitty-gritty, I'd like to take a moment to lace up with our sponsor of this video, 91 Act. BlazBlue Entropy Effect is a perfect sponsor for this video, being a franchise that is mostly known for its fighting games. However, this go around, BlazBlue Entropy Effect is more of a 2D platformer roguelike set in the BlazBlue universe. Battle your way through a ruined world and shape its destiny. Gather intelligence by taking down evil samples, your main foes throughout this adventure. Gameplay is broken up into stages with a style that is similar to Dead Cells, but without the Metroidvania elements, while at the same time calling back to the arcade style of previous entries in the series. Take on regular battles or more challenging combat for greater rewards. However, all the while, you'll need to keep an eye on your entropy meter. With hundreds of moves to customize your playstyle and elemental effects and upgrades in the shop, the possibilities just feel endless. Attack, dash, and jump while pressing buttons in different directions in order to execute different abilities. String together combos and you'll feel like you're playing a fighting game in no time. Bounce from section to section at blazing fast speeds that keeps the game moving at a really nice pace. BlazBlue Entropy Effect is a much deeper game than it looks like on the surface, and is even voice acted to fully immerse you into its universe. So what are you waiting for, folks? BlazBlue Entropy Effect is out of early access right now as of January 31st. Take up your sword and slay some samples today. Once again, a very special thank you to 91 Act for sponsoring this video. Please use the link in our description box below to grab yourself a copy today. Alright, let's head back into the arena, how about it? First on this fighting game list is a fairly recent release called Pocket Bravery. Do not adjust your television, this really did come out in 2023 and is only meant to look like a 90s fighting game. Pocket Bravery leans into the nostalgia factor, but does it in style. It's pretty rare that you can describe a fighting game as cute, but the term definitely applies to Pocket Bravery. There is a chibi pixel art style that is charming as hell, but more importantly, there is a ton of content, all of the modes you could ask for in a fighting game, and a really intuitive fighting style. Pocket Bravery would be a perfect fit for your Steam Deck or Switch, and not just because it looks like a Neo Geo Pocket Color game. It's an awesome pick-up-and-play title that pairs retro looks with modern amenities to make fights feel fast and fluid.
You got this!
Alright, this one isn't going to be for everyone, but don't judge a book by its cover just yet. Them's Fightin' Herds is a well-made My Little Pony adjacent fighting game that even folks that aren't a fan of the series can have some fun with. Ex-hardcore gamer, who you can find on our sister channel, I Dream of Retro Games, shameless plug, played this title back in 2022 when the game was ported to console, and as someone with very little knowledge of the series, he had a great time playing through it. To clarify, I say My Little Pony adjacent because what started as a My Little Pony game had to be altered because Hasbro was not having it. Lauren Faust of Friendship and Magic fame did help design these characters, so it does look pretty damn authentic if I do say so myself. The game also features deep fighting game mechanics with a thorough tutorial, local versus mode, arcade mode, and even online crossplay. Each fighter has a unique fighting style, and there's been a bunch of DLC released with some fun themes from other fighting games that you might even find on this list. Any way you slice it, I heard this game is great. You just can't beat a name like Melty Blood, which is our game here at number 8, can you? Melty Blood type Lumina is a 2D fighter with anime aesthetics that are based on visual novel Tsukehime. There's just something about the subtle pixelated graphics that offer no shortage of gore that calls to me. Don't worry, there are storylines for each character, smooth online gameplay, and a fast-paced yet approachable battle system if you're not so easily won over. There's been a ton of DLC released for this title as well, so if you're looking for more, there will be no shortage.
あなたはここまで我が手は主の代行なり逃れることはできないと知りなさい雲軟弱逃がされ加減できませんからね不愉快だね思わず踏み潰してしまいそう人知れず哀れに消える準備はできていて僭越ながらお相手いたします暗黒非水流五法師推奨派このほうきに切れぬものなし大反省合唱ほうき星
あんまり動くと貧血になるんでねこの辺りで失礼するよ
Let's head over to number 7. I don't know about you, but I loved the Power Rangers growing up. In fact, the first time I was able to choose what I wanted to be for Halloween, I chose the Green Ranger. I had it all, the figurines, the Megazords, cups, swords, hell, even the damn bed sheets. It was that deep. So, it may be the nostalgia talking, but I adore the idea of a Power Rangers fighting game, and this one was executed fairly well. This is Power Rangers Battle for the Grid, an underrated fighter that came out back in 2019. Simpler times. Features nods to 25 years of Power Rangers history. If you've always wanted to kick Goldar's ass, now's your chance. Sure, the graphics might not look top-notch in 2024, but the core gameplay is easy enough to jump into for new players and deep enough for the more dedicated players to have fun mastering. So what are you waiting for? It's clearly Morphin time. Rest in peace, Tommy, my favorite Ranger. We've got an oldie but a goodie up next. In fact, Skullgirls' second Encore is part of a franchise that dates back to 2012. It faced many challenges during development, including a lawsuit that required the entire team to reform. Thanks to crowdfunding, however, the game was finally created and eventually ported to consoles. Insane history aside, this is a tag team 2D fighter with some pretty kick-ass animations. If you're a fan of games like Marvel vs. Capcom 2, you'll find something to love in this fighting style. There's plenty below the surface level if you really want to get good, but if you're just looking to enjoy the hand-drawn art and play casually, you also won't be disappointed.
Strike up the band! Can you dig it? Glowing in the dark!
Please accept my friend request.
Running wide!
My job is clobbering Skullgirls.
It's up to her now.
Hey! Wrestling is real!
Nobody tells me what to do.
Don't you dare turn your back on me!
Hungry for some more anime action? Well then, Phantom Breaker Omnia is a game that I just loved playing back in 2022. The full review is live on the channel, so I'll spare you all of the details, but let's just say this is a smooth and effective little 2D fighter. There's a story mode that goes deep into detail, but obviously, the primary focus is the gameplay. There's quite a bit to learn about in the intricate battle system, but ultimately, a beginner should be able to hold their own as they learn. Apart from the story mode, there's also a versus mode, time attack, and score attack as well. Online multiplayer does exist, though I can't speak to how many folks are currently playing. Most importantly, this is an awesome soundtrack to fuel your rage in battle. Any fighter worth its salt needs a driving, upbeat soundtrack, and Phantom Breaker Omnia is no exception. This series has quite a bit of history. If you do find yourself enchanted by the characters and gameplay, there's definitely a bit of a backlog for you to research as well. Great, underrated game. Next up, we have 2017's Rivals of Aether, which was released on PC, Xbox, and Switch. To my knowledge, this is the only game on the list that also received a spin-off dating sim, as well as a deck-building game and a roguelite. They really took this one every possible direction it could go. Hell, it even became a comic and is now getting a long-anticipated sequel. With clear and heavy influence from the Super Smash series, your goal is to knock your foe out of the arena. Each character has unique element-based attacks and abilities. These attacks also affect the stage, which adds a unique element to the gameplay. It's not just about focusing on your opponent, but there is a certain degree of strategy involved in planning how to use your surroundings to your benefit. Indie fans will also love that you can even play as Ori from Ori and the Blind Forest series, and Shovel Knight from, well, of course, Shovel Knight. Now is the perfect time to jump in and join the hype for Rivals 2, releasing later this year. Top 3 now, and at number 3 we have Divekick, named after a common move in fighting games, and this really sets the tone for the whole experience. There are a lot of inside jokes, nods, and references in this game that you'll catch if you've been a fighting game fan for a long time. You only use 2 buttons to fight, which is a rather unique feature. It's quite literally about diving and kicking, with each character having 2 different special moves. Because of this, the health meter isn't really something you need to worry about as much as you might think. You can quite literally lose a round by being hit once. All told, this one isn't necessarily for more serious fighting game fans, but longtime fighting game fans will get a chuckle or two out of it without question. It's definitely something different and worth at least giving a try. I enjoy it quite a bit.
Lucky shot! The fencer wins!
Number 2, 2016 saw the release of Verdict Guilty, a stylish pixel art fighter with a cops and robbers vibe. The game is enjoyable in a very non-traditional way, as players became fond of the game's many bugs and shockingly fast gameplay. It's relatively easy to pick up and play, and there are fully implemented leaderboards and a story mode for each character. It's goofy and over the top, sure, but for fighting game fans that are fond of the strange and unusual, this might be worth giving a go. Sometimes it's just nice to take a little bit of a departure from the norm and try something that's completely different. Last but certainly not least is a game that a lot of folks on the channel played and loved. Giga Bash is a kaiju-themed multiplayer arena brawler with smooth mechanics, over-the-top specials, a single-player campaign mode, and online fun for up to 4 players. Watch cities and natural landscapes crumble under your feet as you duke it out, with some really fun and dynamic environments. Personally, I enjoyed playing as PP Eurus the most, but that may be because I'm a child and I just love telling everyone that I beat them with my PP. Don't judge me, life is too sad if you can't laugh at immature jokes. This game is perfect for playing with friends online, and definitely easy enough with the difficulty options for anyone to jump in. If you love Rampage, Godzilla, or if you just always wanted to play as a giant monster, this is absolutely going to be your jam. And that's gonna do it for this list, folks. We thank you so much for watching. We hope you found the next fighting game of your dreams in the indie gaming scene. Once again, a huge special thank you to 91 Act for sponsoring this video. Remember to head down to the description box below and grab yourself a copy of BlazBlue Entropy Effect today. It is officially out of early access and it looks awesome. Alright folks, I will see you on the channel for more great indie gaming content. Voice to the voiceless.